How's it going, everybody? It's your world champion here. Welcome back to the arc review series, where we take a look at an arc of an anime I'm currently watching, and we just kind of have a little fun with it, talk about it a little bit, and give an overall grade at the end of it. And this week is probably something very special. We are talking about the Itachi Shinden arc. Now, this arc is based off of a set of novels that were released that were about Itachi's story. So basically, all the stuff that's happened in his past, from him being a child to him seeing Sasuke being born to him committing the mass murder that he did and joining the Akatsuki and eventually dying to Sasuke's hands. This has to be the best filler arc I've ever seen in an anime. Did it have some issues? Yeah, sure, because I think they left some stuff out of the novels, so we don't get to see some things, like a lot of stuff with like Shisui and some of the other events that happened through his life. In fact, his teammates that he had when he became a genin, we don't get to see a certain point of them as well. But this was fantastic from start to finish. I was completely enthralled in this arc, and I'll praise it even more as we continue on, but this arc actually starts a little differently. So we start off with where we left Sasuke, Sakura, Naruto, and Kakashi basically blocking themselves from the infinite Tsukuyomi. And we catch up with everybody else, seeing where their dreams are heading off of. So we have Hinata being with Naruto, Kiba's Hokage making a dog day and having everybody get dogs. We have Shino finding a new bug, Choji having a feast with a beauty, things like that. So we're seeing everyone's stories and what everyone dreams to have. Now, some of these are kind of cool, and I think some of these are actually anime only, like Kankuro having an ultimate mech puppet and Tamaru basically being the go-to person for everybody to go to since she's super smart. The one person that we meet up with is Sasuke. So as everyone in the Susanoo are coming up with a plan of attack to combat Madara in this, Sasuke's remembering back to when Itachi showed him the true history and what happened with Itachi. And that's how we transition to Itachi's story, which I thought is actually a pretty cool, creative way to get into a filler arc. Kind of like what we did with maybe Tsunade's one, and I'll even give Tenten's filler arc a little bit of praise here. But yeah, that's where we cut over to Itachi's story. So we see that Itachi, at a young age, like around 6 or so, he witnessed a lot of war and a lot of death. And being around his dad, he was able to see all this and kind of come to terms with, okay, people die in life. There's life and death. And as they're standing there during the Third Shinobi World War, after that's done, there's a little conversation that starts happening with the Uchiha regarding Kakashi and the Sharingan, and they end up just letting Kakashi be. It was Obito's wishes. They're not going to start anything from that. And we cut over there from that to Itachi meeting Orochimaru, and Orochimaru basically telling him that life has no meaning. And Itachi, at this young, like 5-6 years old, tries to kill himself. And he ends up saving himself because he realizes, okay, I had a fear of dying here. Is that why we live? That we fear to die? Like, what is our purpose in life? And we see that is Itachi's main goal in this whole arc, just trying to figure out what it means to be alive. So shortly after that, Sasuke's born, and then we get some of the stuff about the Nine Tails attack, how that happened, and just a little bit of that. So we had some reused animation from the other times we've seen the Nine Tails attack. And after that, we see a meeting being held where the clans are moving to different spots of the Leaf Village because of the attack. And the Uchiha get moved to like the outskirts of the village. Now, I always forget his name, but Sasuke and Itachi's dad, he has an issue with this because since they are part of the police force, they're going to be so far away from the center of town that it almost feels like they're just being pushed aside. And as they're building this new place, he notices, oh yeah, they're going to be keeping an eye on this because there's like these high towers where people can watch them from. So after all that, Itachi learns a fireball jutsu from his dad. He joins the academy. We get to see some of Itachi's academy days here, which is actually pretty cool. You know, he beats up this bully. He is basically the calm, cool, collected kid, and he's so advanced that they do end up just pushing him to graduate and make him a genin at, like, I think he's 7 years old at this time, or maybe 8. But this is where we meet his team. And we see one mission that they go on. It's with that cat lady, if you remember her from way back when. But they go on a mission for her to find this cat. And we basically see that Itachi does care for people, but he's more questioning, again, still, what does it mean to be a shinobi? What is a shinobi? What is a village? What is a clan? What is all this stuff that I'm surrounded by? And he's getting all this information from other people, from his teammates, from his sensei, from the other people in the academy, from the higher up ninja. All these people are basically showing him different aspects of being a shinobi and being a person, basically. But none so more than his good old best friend, Shisui. Shisui Uchiha is a jonin by the time Itachi's a genin. And we don't see too much of their friendship. I think the novel goes a little bit more into it, but we see them go on like this training mission, and they fight these Anbu Black Ops that are chasing after some guy. So during this training mission, Shisui actually teaches Itachi a lot about how to be a human. So there's this moment where they have this campfire going on, and Itachi, he just says, hey, the book says we shouldn't be doing this. We're basically letting people know of our location and where we're at. And Shisui's like, no, it's fine. Don't worry about it. We are strong enough. I feel safe around you, so we can do this right now. It's fine. And it is fine. They're okay with it. And through that, Itachi learns that Shisui kind of has the same ideals as him, wanting to find true peace without fighting. And this is where we get basically Itachi's mindset of being calm, cool, collected, and just trying not to fight. He is going to fight if he has to, but he's trying to find reasons beyond fighting to solve a problem. And soon after that, Itachi joins the Anbu Black Ops so he can kind of watch the village from the shadows. And shortly after that, we get Shisui's death and the moment where Itachi gains the power of the Mangekyo Sharingan. So this is where we move into that section of the story where Itachi starts being that double agent for the Leaf and for Danzo and all that, because he becomes an Anbu squad leader strictly under Danzo. So he's reporting to this man about the Uchiha's whereabouts and what they're doing. The coolest thing about this part is that Itachi meets up with his dad at a certain point. They're down at the clan stone tablet, that stone tablet that we keep hearing about, oh, when you unlock the Sharingan, you can read more of it. When you unlock the Mangekyo Sharingan, you can read more of it. We find out that his dad has the Mangekyo Sharingan, which is crazy. Apparently he got it from watching his friend die during the last Ninja War. Crazy shit, I know. They have this huge argument about, what does it mean to find peace? What should we do to find peace? And inevitably, as we know with the story, this leads to the massacre. And we actually get to see some of this massacre. We see where Obito goes to kill some of the Uchiha clan members. And Obito also kills this girl. I forgot to mention her earlier, but Itachi has this girl that I guess they're girlfriend boyfriend, because she does some cute things as they're little kids, inviting him out to play with all the other kids or sharing some dumplings with him, and always just kind of being there with and for him. Well, she ends up dying at the hands of Obito, but the way she dies, she's like, save me, Itachi. I don't know if the novel kind of dives into them having a relationship or anything. I'm assuming so. I think that's the one gripe I have with this story arc, is it seems like it skipped a lot of information that I kind of wish we got. I mean, as cute as that cat mission we got a couple episodes from this ago, it would have been cool to kind of see the moment of Itachi's friends' deaths, because he keeps thinking about it. That keeps weighing on his head. Now, a cool twist with that is it was actually Obito who killed his comrades, his team, during a mission. So, but that's neither here nor there. Itachi kills his clan in this episode that they had, where Itachi realizes what he has to do. Beautifully done. Like, the animation, beautiful. Sound design, beautiful. The music they were playing for is so awesome, so great. This was an amazing arc visually, at least to this point. We'll get to the stuff here in a little bit, but Itachi just kind of realizes and comes to the conclusion that fighting is going to be inevitable in this world. So he ends up massacring his family, leaving only Itachi alive, and that's when he joins the Akatsuki. Now, this part was actually kind of cool because, we're seeing an early version of the Akatsuki. We see Orochimaru here. We see this guy named Juzo, who was a member of the Ninja Swordsman, and he also mentioned Might Dai, who we just saw in the previous couple arcs. Might Dai's dad, who fought all those Ninja Swordsmen and died, and we find out that he took out like 4 of them. So there was only 3 of the Ninja Swordsmen left, which is actually pretty damn impressive, especially the fact that Juzo got out alive. But he has the Executioner's Blade, so when we got to that episode, I'm just sitting here thinking to myself, wait, Zabuza is supposed to be the one with the Executioner's Blade. Why does this Juzo guy have it now? What is his purpose here? Where is this coming from? And we find out that one of the missions they had to go on was to find out some information on the tailed beast. Juzo actually ends up dying on that mission after trying to protect Itachi. And he just stays there. He's just like, no, just leave me. I'm just gonna die. And an interesting conversation they had too as he was dying, because Itachi asks him if he basically has any last words for anybody. And Juzo says, no, I'm alone. The fact that you asked me means you have one person that you want to talk to. That's cute. So Itachi leaves him, and so Juzo's dead. And that's when Orochimaru kind of starts making his move to Itachi, and we know how that ends up. Orochimaru leaves in betrayal, and that's when Kisame joins the group, and they actually go and find Deidara, who joins the Akatsuki, and we get a cool little scene where Orochimaru fights Sasori and Deidara. So that's kind of cool as well. And we also get a part where they find Hidan. And one thing I'm really wishing, and I kind of want to go into the novel and see what it says there, but they keep asking, where does Hidan's immortality come from? And we don't get that answer in the anime, so I'm interested to see what the novel has to say about that. The last little part we have here is basically the tail end of it, where, we find out the Leaf Village got destroyed, kind of destroyed by Orochimaru, and Itachi offers to go there to get the information that the Akatsuki need. And so he meets Sasuke again. We know how that all goes, and basically we're seeing these events play out from Itachi's perspective. So we don't stay on it too long, thank God, because we've seen it, I don't know how many times, with Itachi fighting Sasuke and his talk with Naruto. We get to finally see just kind of what was going through his mind during all this. And it's kind of the same thing he tells Sasuke, like, you don't have enough hatred and you never will, and all that stuff. But it's coming from less of an arrogant standpoint to more of a sad and somber standpoint. Because again, when we look at Itachi's story, he wanted Sasuke to kill him as an avenger for the Leaf, not the Uchiha. For the Uchiha as well, to kind of rebrand the Uchiha and make them seem like a better clan than they actually were. But Sasuke just wasn't at the level that Itachi needed him to be at. And of course, Itachi saddened at the thought that Sasuke left the village to be with Orochimaru. Like, how is he going to be protected there? But I think Itachi knew that Sasuke could probably handle Orochimaru. Wow, I'll just kind of diss Orochimaru right there. I'm sorry, any Orochimaru fans out there that are listening. But yeah, it was a nice way to kind of tap off this arc. And honestly, I'm giving this arc an A+. There were some issues I had with it, like some of the things that they sped through. I know I kind of sped through a lot of stuff as well, but I honestly recommend watching or even reading the novels. But yeah, the few problems I have with it, speeding through some things that I think we could have used, like, for example, Itachi's team dying. I know we saw them go on a mission. It was like, retrieve this kind of mission, but it would have been nice to kind of see the downfall of that team and what happened with them, instead of just being like, oh, Itachi's team died, here's a quick flashback of it. That would have been cool. Would have been cool to see, where Hidan's immortality comes from. That would have been a cool reveal in this filler arc. But I mean, overall, like, this was a really good story arc. I know this isn't part of not part of the manga canon, but the fact that they decided to make it like part of the story canon is actually really cool, and it really like ties in really well with Itachi's story. And even moving on from that, I could tell that Kishimoto didn't write this, and I mean that in a good and bad way, because on one hand, like, Kishimoto can write pretty well. He has some good philosophical ideas and a good way of portraying that into a series. But he also has some weird ways of going about with like his side characters and some other things that I'm not too big of a fan of that he does. That kind of helps and doesn't help this arc all in all. But I'm glad they decided to make this story canon. I mean, overall, A+. I mean, again, this was probably the best filler arc that I've ever witnessed in an anime. Like, the storyboarding was great. The angles that they used for the scene with Itachi and his dad were so good, and the reveal of Itachi's dad having the Mangekyo shouting on him was also cool. And he even gets to see like what would happen if the village did get overrun by the Uchiha, things like that. Like, this was just really good. It was really good, a breath of fresh air for this series. But let me know down in the comments what you thought of this arc. I do highly recommend it. Out of all the filler arcs I've seen of Naruto so far, I highly recommend this one. By Jove, I highly recommend it. Either read it, watch it, consume any part of it. It is that damn good. So yeah, leave a comment down below if you have anything to say about this arc. Be sure to like the video if I entertain you in any way, shape, or form. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next arc review, which we are finally getting. We're getting to it. We're getting to Kaguya next. Because that's the thing. This last episode of the Itachi story was like half the episode. The other half was Kaguya being reborn. But we'll get into that on the next Naruto video. And don't forget to ring the bell icon as well so you get notified of when these videos go up. And as always, people, I've been your world champion. Catch you guys in the next video. See ya. Get your drinks ready for Kaguya.
I don't need you. Better things are coming on the way.